Red oaks don't normally get the love and attention as a white oak does, especially from us deer hunters, but really you should probably reconsider that, and we'll talk about why specifically here on Landbeat. All right guys, this is a big red oak. This is specifically a black oak, but black oak is part of the red oak family. And oftentimes as deer hunters, we relish the thought of white oaks dropping in late September, early October, especially if you're in big timber country. But what often happens following that is, if you will, the lack of trust, relatability as a deer hunter to a red oak. Most times we don't give it near the love and attention that it deserves. White oaks often get the love and attention because they're only available on the landscape for a short window of time, typically 3 to 4 weeks after they drop. White oaks sprout during the fall, the same fall that they drop. So it's a short window in which they should be sprouting. So if you have high moisture after the mass of acorns have dropped, you're gonna get some sprouting. And when they sprout, deer don't forage on them any longer. So that's why we see deer relish the white oak and take all their foraging habits and move it right into white oaks during the fall time, early fall time specifically. Now, red oaks, they don't get the love and attention, right, that white oaks do, because we don't see this hard flocking to that food source, because the red oak is not available for such a small, short time frame. We know that these have a higher tannin level or acid level in them compared to white oaks, but that's not about flavor or desirability, palatability. It is all about how long this is going to last on the ground. Think of that acid as a preservative, because red oaks or acorns in the red oak family, they don't sprout until the following spring. So this tree, when it drops acorns, it's going to fall in 2023, but the acorns will sprout late winter, early spring as the soil temperature warms up in the spring of 2024. So that means that food source is on the ground, viable and available to deer and turkeys that entire time frame. Compare that to the white oak, they're only available for 3 or 4 weeks time frame. So if you had a forage that was only available for a small window, wouldn't you hit it hard as well? So don't think of the red oak as not as desirable from a perspective of when forage is available. The red oak is super important because it's going to be available during late winter when most food resources aren't available anymore. They might be relying very heavily on this and woody browse and not a white oak, because that forage is gone and done. But the red oak is a very important mass producer if you're considering whitetails. And as a hunting strategy, we have to consider this in the late October, November, December timeframe. I've killed several deer coming to and hitting red oak acorns specifically mid to late season. So don't think that these are not valuable, that we shouldn't manage for them, and specifically as deer hunters, not be scouting for them. You're missing a lot of opportunities if you haven't considered red oaks and their mass production late season. You need to be considering that. Don't just consider the white oak. Think about both species and the different time frames that they both are used by whitetails.